A grand subscriber identified as Uche Best from Rivers State has asked if it is true that SEM, TELPECON, OSSEA, Golden Bridge, THEOBARTH are united by one common denominator, lies and deceit. According to Uche, SEM started it and the principle was fairly simple, and that they devised a means to raise small amount of money from a very large group of people, made the amount small and promises great returns. The full statement read in part. Please, how true is these stories? SEM, TELPECON, OSSEA, Golden Bridge, THEOBARTH, etc. are all the same, united by one common denominator, lies and deceit. SEM started it and the principle was fairly simple. Devise a means to raise small amount of money from a very large group of people, make the money small and promise a big return. Preach about taking risk and what not, and cash in millions from them. The little amount each person pays is not so significant to cause much feelings of loss, but more than enough when pooled together to enrich those urchins that propagate its nice strategy. The ingenious plan worked like magic with the defunct SEM led by Donald Olokuyede, now like every scam before it. Once new system is developed and proven to work, others would begin to dive in head first and reap from it until it would eventually cast. Remember the days of Ponzi schemes? It started with MMM and people were getting scammed quietly and peacefully until some boys began to punch their calculators and realized how much Mavrodi was probably cashing out on daily basis. Then boom, other scammers joined the queue. You are welcome. It's the same principle that play here. Anyway, back to the main gist. The success story of SEM swung others into action. TELPECON decided to repackage SEM's product and surprisingly they did it so well that it sold to the same customers that bought SEM. And of course, some new customers came on board. Fantastic, incredible, ingenious. Oh, I forgot to add that everything sells well in God's name in Africa. TELPECON knew this, and rather than use a lawyer as SEM did, they decided to step up their game with canonical titles. It boosted their game and made everybody to believe that TELPECON is not SEM and SEM is not TELPECON. TELPECON was instead the promised messiah that has come to right the wrongs of SEM. I've never understood how religion can turn a professor into a brainless zombie, but yes, it happens every time. Anyway, let's roll on. One Reverend Elomama came on board and began the game. As the success of TELPECON was taking its glorious ride, others began to spring up to get a huge chunk of their own cake. Of course, each was based on the same storyline. The story is easy to sell in a society that is too lazy to engage in research. Suddenly, nameless donors began to spring up from around the world to offer free grants to Nigerians, and funds from these people are there for grabs, of course, for a little token. Then the game started. Commonwealth grants, THEOBARTH grants, OSSEA grants, Rehoboth grants, MTN SIM grants, Candlelight grants, Freedom grants, Young Fishers grants, Access Bank grants. The list is endless. Each of these grants promises to give millions of naira to their subscribers so long as they can register with some amount of money and buy the ID card, face cap, t-shirts, pay for verification, pay for capturing, blah, blah, blah. And what's more striking, all these grant providers are headed by men of God. One thing about a populous, largely uneducated and impoverished third world society is that whatever branded with foreign and religion sells well. So it's no big deal that all these grants have millions of people that commit their meager resources to it, expecting a huge return, which will definitely never come. People like OSSEA have decided to use their large pool of people as a business model, and I even heard the leader talking about starting a cryptocurrency in which he plans to force every beneficiary to invest in. The drama will keep unfolding and we will keep watching, but the earlier you all wise up, the better. Peace. My viewers at home, what's your take, what's your reaction to this postulation by Mr. Uche Best from Rivers State, who has asked if it is true that SEM, TELPECON, OSSEA, Golden Bridge, THEOBARTH are united by one common denominator, lies and deceit. If you ask me, I would say that actually there's grant in place. Yes, there's grant for the less privileged by donors from outside the country, but some persons are, hell-bent on ensuring that these grants are not disbursed to the less privileged, and even some persons in government are working around the clock to ensure that these grants are trapped down so that at the end of the day they can share these grants among themselves. So Uche Best, I believe your question has been answered regarding you're saying that all these grants platforms, foundation are united by one common denominator, lies and deceit. That is false. They are not united by such denominator. It's just that some persons in government, some persons in corridor of authority do not want the less privileged to be liberated from shackles of poverty, hence the delay in grant disbursement. But by His grace, in no time, by His grace, the wonderful thing shall be done by God Almighty. That is it. My viewers at home, what's your take, what's your reaction to a statement brought forward by question, brought forward by a grant subscriber identified as Uche Best from Rivers State? Please drop your reaction in the comment section. But as it is, we do not have time on our side, and this is where we draw the curtain. Thanks and God bless. Ensure you subscribe to our channel and make this report viral. Spread this report to other news platforms, and bye for now.